It's a new year, so is it time for a new you? We've reopened the doors to our feeding clinic for 8 new Supersizers and Superskinnies to swap diets and unravel their obsessive relationships with food. With obesity figures at epidemic levels and eating disorders on the rise, our relationship with food is even more dangerous. It's time to raise the stakes and have a huge reality check.
This year, it's going to be tougher for my diet swappers. I've got more surprises planned, and I'm expecting bigger and better results.
And for our Supersizers, that means the mother of all wake-up calls. Plus, Anna Richardson journeys to the mecca of size 0.
LA, baby.
To try out the extreme regimes of this diet-obsessed city.
That's not looking good.
And why do our diets always fail?
I eat chocolate because it replaces my lack of sex.
Anna opens her flap fighting club to show how you can have your cake.
So who's up for a gorge on cheddar gorge?
And eat it. But first, into the feeding clinic for our 5-day diet swap. 2 nurses are forced to face up to the effects of their deadly diets.
Well, I think, actually, my arm is the same size as your leg. That's incredible.
Welcome back, Supersize versus Superskinny. First in is Superskinny student nurse and mum of 2, Gillian from Inverness. She's undergone a full medical to make sure she's fit for purpose.
So you are 161 centimetres, all right? Let's go and do your weight down this way.
An average woman of 5 foot 3 inches should weigh around 8.5 stone.
Not a big number, is it? 96 pounds.
At only 6 stone 8, Gillian is almost 2 stone underweight. 24-year-old Gillian is in dire need of help. She's starving her body with her dangerous eating habits, and the consequences of this are deadly serious.
I have had health problems to do with my weight. I've not had period in around 18 months. I've been in hospital as well to do with low potassium in my blood. I've got stomach problems to do with my weight, and just I'm always cold too. Now getting the health problems that I'm getting, I do really need to do something.
Gillian has the body of a child, and she eats like one too.
I'm a really fussy eater. I don't like chicken, I don't like dairy. A lot of things I can think about and put myself off, and a lot of things I've never tried, but I just know I don't like them.
With most foods off the menu, there is one thing that is guaranteed to fill Jill. She glugs down litres of fizzy diet drink all day long, which makes her feel full enough to pop. She has diet fizz for breakfast and lunch, but as the mum of 2 teeny tots, she feels pressure to eat something with them at dinner time.
I'll try and encourage them by having something.
But she only ever manages a kiddie-sized portion.
Jill, your BMI comes to around about 17. Normal is about 20 to 25, so you're quite significantly under where you should be. Just tell me, first of all, how do you think this has happened?
Like bad eating practices, and then they've got into habits, and then it's just really difficult to change because I'm so used to not eating. Then I've got the feeling where I don't recognise hunger anymore.
Her eating issues need to be tackled, and there's only one thing for it. It's time to call in the heavy artillery.
How are you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Come on in.
Meet 26 stone supersizer Philippa from Yorkshire. As a 48-year-old nurse, she knows better than most the dangers of overeating. But when it comes to grub guzzling, this nosher just can't seem to get enough.
I just love food. I love cooking, I love preparing food, and I love eating food. And I like nice food. Chops, steak and salad, cauliflower and broccoli cheese sauce, pork chops baked in cider with apples and onions, or big beef stews with dumplings.
And there's one other hot dish on Philippa's radar. It's her 29-year-old boyfriend, Lyndon, and he's under no illusion about the root of her sizable problem.
She doesn't know when to stop, basically, and she doesn't like to see food left on the plate.
I do know that the problem lies with the fact that I never feel full. I haven't got a cut-off button. I also appear to have got somewhat of a fear of being hungry.
And like any fear, it's best to face it head on.
I'm just a foodaholic, I think, really. That was lovely.
Come and climb on these, Philippa. So you are, in pounds, 359. Heaviest you've ever been?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
jump off.
At 25 stone 6, Philippa is 16.5 stone heavier than a healthy weight for her height.
I've worked out your BMI, which is 61, which is probably one of the highest BMIs I've ever seen. It's a lot. It puts you in a morbidly obese category, which means that your life is at risk because of your weight.
2 nurses, 2 extreme diets, and 2 shocking polar physiques. With an 18 stone difference between them, they're about to swap their diets in a bid to teach each other a hard lesson in food and nutrition. It's time for Supersize to meet Superskinny.
I'm really pleased to meet you at last. I'm Philippa, and I'm a nurse. What do you do for a living?
Nurse.
Oh, yeah! Oh, God.
She is a big girl.
Well, I think, actually, my arm is the same size as your leg. That's incredible.
I don't know how I'll eat what she's probably eats, but we'll see.
Now, my daughters have laid a bet that you're going to pop by the end of day 2. So I think that might be difficult for you. I'm hopefully going to teach you how to enjoy food.
To add girth to Jill and take fat from Phil, their diets are swapping for 5 days, and they're about to find out what's going to be on the menu as they come face to face with their shocking weekly consumptions.
Ready? Let's start with breakfast. Breakfast. Let's move on to lunch. It's not really very impressive, is it? Half a sandwich, bit of salad.
But that probably would be one snack for me, not a full week's breakfast and lunch.
Let's see what you have for dinners then. A small quiche. This is a bit of tomato pasta salad. Your 4-year-old probably eats more than that. What's this, Gillian?
Diet drinks.
And just look at how much there is. When you didn't see any food going in at breakfast time, glass of diet fizzy drink. All day long, fizzy drinks. About 12 litres a week. I would call this an addiction, really.
Speechless.
This is what you're going to be now living on for the next
Well,
week.
thank you very much.
With her busy lifestyle, Gillian should be consuming 2,000 calories a day, but she's getting a pitiful 350. This means that she only eats 1.5 days' worth of calories in a week. That's a staggering undereat of 5.5 days.
Yours is very bad, but this is not necessarily going to be any better, all right? Breakfast. Here we go. It's a fortified cereal, banana, toast and butter. What do you think of her breakfast?
Don't like nothing.
You don't like any of that? Well, that doesn't really surprise me, but it's a darn sight better than your breakfast, isn't it? Let's move on to lunch. Lots of salad, tuna, I think, pasta, fish and chips, vegetable soup, and then pate and toast.
Yeah.
You like pate and toast? What else? So there was some chili con carne, there's pasta, there's tuna, there's salad, sausage roll, some, was that crisps?
And a packet of crisps, yeah.
Okay. You're clutching your tummy, what's wrong?
I just feel sick, just seeing it all mushed together and just thinking that's what it's like inside your body.
Philippa is eating 10 times the amount of calories as Gillian by consuming a whopping 3,750 a day. She is overeating by 6 days' worth of food a week.
I'm Anna Richardson, and like most women, I'm a serial dieter. Last year, I went on a crash course in the crazy world of super-fast weight loss in an attempt to shift my excess flour. Bon appetit. But this year, I'm taking my search for diet regimes to the next level. LA, baby. Welcome to Hollywood, home of the skinny mini. Anyone who's anyone in this town believes that stick thin equals fabulous. Cameron, Halle, Paris. Who can honestly say they wouldn't want to look like this? So, over the next few weeks, I'll be investigating the lengths the Americans will go to reach Skinniesville and finding out which fads are on their way to the UK. From celebrity calorie crunching,
Jackie is going to allow me to prepare a celebrity meal. Word on the street,
to extreme cosmetic surgical procedures.
oh my God.
And the latest fat-burning accessory, a baby.
There's a few tears at the back there.
She wants a burger. Plus the slimming secrets of the stars, the lethal cocktails of drugs being taken in a bid to suppress appetite. I'm a typical size 12, but here in LA, I'm positively huge. To fit in LA, you've got to be cut down to size, literally. Fat fighting surgery is a megabucks industry, worth over $12 billion a year. With the top 3 most wanted fat fighting procedures being liposuction, tummy tuck, and breast reduction. It's not just for women, but for men too. But hold on to your love handles. The latest fat-fighting trend sweeping the Golden State is abdominal etching. Yes, I'm talking a designer six-pack for men. But the weird thing is, it's fit, healthy, toned men with absolutely nothing wrong with them who are signing up for this risky and pricey procedure. And alarmingly, this craze for surgical slimming is crossing over to the UK, where liposuction was up a staggering 15% in the last year. But is the knife a good quick-fix solution? I've come to meet elite Hollywood surgeon Dr. Modicky to see what he could do for my midriff in this land of flat-packed stomachs.
We've got a slight problem kind of there.
If you want to look a little more athletic, you want to look a little more, have a little more lines to you, we do sculpting.
So you can sculpt a waist for me, and maybe a bit of a six-pack?
Exactly. That's called etching, and there's a little bit you can do where you can sculpt or thin the waistline so that it actually looks like you worked out for, the last 10 years, but you're cheating just a little bit.
Wow. Okay, and then
Dr. M's promised me a front row seat as he performs this extreme etching tomorrow. But on my way out, I come across some of his handiwork.
Oh, hello. Oh, you're a beautiful nurse.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Daisy. Very nice to meet you.
Hello, who are you?
I'm Rachel. I'm the scrub tech. I assist Dr. Modicky in surgery.
Now, Rachel, I'm thinking you've had some surgery.
Yes, I did.
What have you had done?
I got a nose job. I got some fat under my eyes and a chin implant. In April, he did my breasts.
Oh, seriously?
And I had lipo.
Can we see your boobs?
Sure.
Brace yourself there. The cameraman's going to drop his camera.
Oh, my God. And so what did you look like before?
Kind of like dimply little things on my face because I was short-jawed. And then I had a little bump on my nose from playing soccer.
Have you had anything, Daisy? Because, you look perfect.
Thank you. I had a nose job a long time ago, like 5 years ago.
Do you go to the gym every day?
No, I just try to eat like once a day. But we eat oatmeal and Splenda. That's what we eat. And
Oatmeal
coffee. We live on that.
Can I have a look at how tiny you are? Because obviously you've got
I
really
want
loose
Dr.
clothing
Modicky to
on.
do some lipo on me eventually.
Really?
Yeah.
No, where, though?
On the sides, down here. We all can use a little bit on the sides.
But you're miniature. How old are you?
I'm 22.
22?
25.
25, okay. Do you know what's freaking me out immediately? Is that all the nurses have had surgery done by Gary, and they're just sitting there casually talking about the boobs. One of them's got massive bruises under her eyes. I just don't think you'd have that in the UK. But this is such a mental town that it's literally, it's just an everyday thing.
Later, I get a real slice of LA life as I meet an athlete with a body most men would die for. But still, he wants to go under the knife.
I want to look as natural as can be, but a little better.
Super skinny Gillian tickles the scales at just 6 stone 8. She's a picky eater, consuming a paltry 350 calories a day. She swapped diets with Supersize 25 stone 6 Philippa. It's their first night in the feeding clinic, and Jill's about to get her first dose of dumper truck-sized tucker. On the menu for Gillian, an enormous bowl of chilli and some mango for Pud, followed by cheese and biscuits. But the chilli is receiving a frosty reception, and reactions speak louder than words. At least Philippa is tucking into her half-a-bacon sandwich, strawberries and fizzy pop with gusto.
I would probably eat this just as a snack while I was preparing. I was thinking about what I was eating for dinner. Now, a tip when you're full is sit up straight, deep breath, count to 10 and start again.
But why do you want to eat more if you're full?
Well, I never know that I'm full.
And it's not just the taste of food that turns Gillian's tiny tum. The noises of eating drive her mad too.
I don't like eating when it's so quiet because I can hear myself as well.
You can hear chewing. You know you like chewing?
As a mum of 3, Philippa can't contain those motherly instincts.
I'll put it down so you can't smell it, right? And don't put your hands up that it's touched it and just chew.
Just had the first meal and I feel really sick. I'm not used to eating in such quietness as well, so it was difficult to hear like chewing and didn't like it at all.
I really do think tomorrow's going to be tough. I think tomorrow I might experience hunger for the first time.
With another tough day looming, it's essential Philippa gets a good night's sleep, but she can't just flop into bed. She suffers from weight-induced sleep apnea, which means every bedtime is potentially fatal.
When you've got sleep apnea, your airway collapses in the night. The reason mine does is actually the weight on my airways.
This dangerous condition affects up to 4% of men and 2% of women in the UK. If left untreated, it can lead to heart attacks, irregular heartbeat, high blood pressure and strokes. Sufferers may have to wear a special airway pressure machine at night to control these risks.
One of the first ways that we treat sleep apnea is to encourage our patients to lose as much weight as possible. And in Philippa's case, as she starts to lose the weight, she'll see her sleep apnea improving dramatically.
Day 2 dawns, and Gillian is far from bright and breezy.
Been sick this morning. I've got a really sore head. I think I've got caffeine withdrawal, so the years of diet drinks are catching up with me, I think.
Meanwhile, Phil is preparing to launch the day's first food attack on Jill, and it's breakfast. So, ready, aim, fry. For Phil, it's a diet pop breakfast. But it's Gillian who's got a problem with her bumper brekkie.
What don't you like about egg yolk?
The texture. I've never liked egg yolk.
It spoils a toast.
One key observation I would make about Gillian is that she seems very childlike by her reluctance to try new things, her immature palate and a host of irrational phobias.
Gillian agrees to give the egg a go, but if at first you don't succeed, try.
Don't smell it, just put it in your mouth.
Try.
And that's not even a mouthful, is it? It's just kind of...
Silly.
And try again. And she's cracked it.
Just chew it, and the toast will take over.
It was quite tough because foods that I don't like, but I tried them and I did eat much more than I would usually eat, so I think I've done well in that respect. I've probably eaten what I would usually eat in a day.
It's been a long liquid-fueled day for Phil, but dinner time brings more solid respite in the form of a small salad and a mini quiche. Oh, and a diet fizzy drink for good measure. And for Gillian, it's heaps of mashed potatoes with pork and apple.
It's been a difficult day for both of us because I normally would have eaten 3 meals by now, and I've actually had 2 drinks and what I would call a snack rather than a meal, because my body's obviously going to be screaming at this point, you know, saying, please feed me, because you normally feed me at regular intervals.
How does it make you feel seeing that?
I could kill you. If I've prepared something with love for somebody that I want to prepare that food for, and then they don't eat any of it, that kind of rejects me and my love, and I've got to find some other way of showing and receiving love other than food.
Love comes from the heart and not the belly.
Exactly.
Being nurses, I think we both care about other people in our lives, like we've gotten lost in the middle of it and forgotten about ourselves, so I think we've gone opposite directions, but our situations are actually very similar, that's affecting both of our health.
After dinner, whilst looking at some old photos, Gillian opens up to Philippa about the trigger for her eating problems. She traces it back to the premature birth of her second daughter.
So why do you think you did stop eating?
When she was in hospital, you grab what you can when you can because you want to be with them, and then I would miss meals. I just got into a habit of not eating, and because it's become a habit, I don't recognise hunger anymore. So why would I eat if I'm not hungry?
Well, you'd eat and because you're a role model to your children.
I don't let them off with not eating their dinner. I don't let them off with eating rubbish, so why should I eat it? It's so hypocritical of me, and I've got to lead by example.
Breakfast on day 3 is a slurpalicious surprise for Phil. Yet another fizzy diet drink. While it's cereal and toast for Gillian, or at least that's what it looks like.
It looks like a scraping off the bottom of a foot, a big piece of...
You look at things and kind of look at it in a way that it relates to something that's unappetising and isn't pleasant.
It wouldn't be so bad if it didn't have milk in it, I think.
Gillian's dislike of most calcium-rich foods means she rarely eats them, which throws up major concerns about the health of her bones.
I think this puts her at a real risk of osteoporosis, so I'm sending her for a bone scan to see if my concerns are justified.
I'm here for the bone density scan. I'm really scared. What if I have it? You know, I don't know if I want the answers. If I do have osteoporosis and the results are positive, I'll be absolutely devastated because I'm only 24, and to know that I've been doing that to my body for so long, it's quite scary.
To keep your bones healthy, you should ensure you include calcium-rich foods such as milk and dairy products in your diet. Dairy foods are also good sources of protein and micronutrients. Other good sources of calcium are green veg such as broccoli and curly kale, whole canned fish with soft bones like sardines, and nuts, especially almonds and Brazil nuts. The potential consequences of Gillian's gross undereating are shocking, and Dr. Jesson hopes in forcing her to face them, she'll begin to see the realities of her terrible diet.
Come on here and have a look at these pictures that I've done. Those ribs are very, very, very prominent. There's nothing covering them at all. And your tummy and your hip, I mean, there's nothing there. I want to draw attention to this region down here, okay? Your pelvic region. And I know you haven't had a period for 18 months, have you? Why?
I'm too thin.
Because you're too thin, because you're underweight. Your body has shut itself down in alarm that it's starving and it will not waste blood through a period. That's frightening. Come on, isn't it?
Definitely.
A healthy body should have around 22% body fat. The body's fat cells release estrogen and other hormones which stimulate and control the menstrual cycle. A body with less than this will soon have too few fat cells, which could lead to infertility.
I never realised you could see the spine and
It's so prominent because there's nothing covering it.
the skeletal. That's horrible.
I sent you for a bone scan. Now your spine is okay. Your hips are absolutely not okay. Your hip bones are similar to about a 60-year-old lady's hip bones.
It's quite thin.
60-year-old lady.
Even though I knew the likelihood was my bones would be bad, you know, you had the naivety that it won't happen to me, blah, blah, blah. And it's a definite shock.
What's scaring you most?
Just that I have the hips of a 60-year-old that's older than my mum, that's older than my dad, you know. And it's like 5 years' time, if I carried on, what would it be like? I can't believe I've done that to myself. I want to be there for my kids growing up, so it's got to change.
Welcome to my flab fighting club. A third of all adults in the UK are said to be on a permanent diet at any one time, but 86% of us women put the weight back on again. Let's face it, diets are hard work. So I'm opening my own diet club. These 7 ladies are serial dieters desperate to slim down, but who always fall off the dreaded diet wagon.
I've tried a number of diets. I've tried the herbal tablets, the Atkins, starving myself, laxatives. I've basically been on a diet on and off since I was about 11. Pretty tired of them now. Alcohol is probably my biggest downfall, or crisps or cake.
At night, I just pick. What they say, little pickers wear bigger knickers. That's me.
So in my diet club, the rules are simple. Stick to a diet plan we've devised, which will allow them to have their vices, but they'll have to burn off the extra calories with exercise. So, why can't we stick to our diets? Reason number 1, chocolate.
I eat chocolate because it replaces my lack of sex.
If I'm feeling a bit low or I'm tired when I come home from work, my biggest downfall is chocolate.
I've got a very high sex drive, so I probably eat 2 or 3 bars a day.
One day ahead. Eat 100 grams of the sweet stuff and you're looking at around 530 calories. But if our girls want to commit the chocolate crime, then they have to learn to do the time. 50 metres of red carpet is being rolled out by the River Thames, but this is no glitzy film premiere. Today, our dieting dames are going to be working the red carpet, but not quite in the way they might like.
So the exercise today, girls, is we are going to be doing housework, specifically vacuuming.
You don't have to be a member of an expensive gym to burn off your guilty pleasures. Simple household chores like vacuuming can burn about 300 calories an hour.
First the vacuums, gets first pick. Technique, Jackie, of just lying down and getting yourself vacuumed. Up you get.
So if you want the pleasure of eating your fave chocky bars, just how much vacuuming would you need to do? For a dairy milk whole nut, you'd need to do 54 minutes. A Yorkie bar would be an hour and a quarter's worth of vacuuming to the max. Or you could burn off a Milky Way in just 23 minutes. Being a domestic goddess has never been so tasty.
Just think, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. How many chocolate bars do you reckon we've worked off now?
Probably not even one yet.
It's hot, isn't it? It's hard work.
Very.
How are you feeling, ladies?
Tired.
Are you really tired?
Yeah.
The girls are not happy.
In the coming weeks, I'll be introducing them to a unique way to burn off the calories in their favourite treats, and just to make sure they're sticking to my Diet Club rules, they'll be weighed in each week.
3 1/4.
Back at the diet swap, and Dr. Christian Jessen has just shocked super skinny Gillian into rethinking her relationship with food.
I want to be there for my kids growing up, so it's got to change.
And now he has a Supersize shock in store for our Supersizer, Philippa. Meet Lisa from Clacton. She weighs over 26 stone and is morbidly obese.
Your waist circumference is 1 inch more than your height.
Dominated by chronic illnesses, she lives on a cocktail of drugs.
Where is the pain? Is it in your back?
It's in my back, goes down my leg,
Yeah.
and I can't even lift my leg up off the floor.
She also suffers from high blood pressure, deep vein thrombosis, sciatica, a hernia, asthma and back pain. Lisa is dependent on the support of her family and a carer every day.
I do rely on people, and that's what you have to do, pay people to do things for you.
And her weight is so dangerously high that time is running out.
My leg giving way, I could be standing up. Or if I'm sitting in one position too long, it go numb and I can't get up and I end up falling on the floor.
Her eating habits are killing her. And she only has one option left. She needs to undergo extreme and complicated surgery to shrink her stomach by 85% or face the possibility of a premature death.
For somebody in your position at the moment, surgery should be thought of really as a life-saving procedure.
Over the next 6 weeks, we're following Lisa as she prepares for and undergoes gastric surgery. Dr. Jessen hopes that by meeting Lisa, Philippa will finally face up to her own true size and the dire consequences of her deadly diet. Today is Lisa's birthday, and Philippa will be joining her and the family in what will be her last supper before her dramatic stomach operation.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Pleased to meet you.
I'm really pleased to meet you.
Yeah.
All right. Can I ask you how old you are?
I'm 45 today. 45.
I'm 48.
I used to sit and binge eat. If nobody's about, thinking, oh, well, no one's watching me, eat. Yeah. I love my food. I'm a chef. Every type of food I like.
That's how I am.
You can do very little for yourself, can't you, Lisa? You rely on other people.
I have to, rely on people.
Because walking is not good, and all of these
and
problems.
It's to do with my weight is my back and sciatica I suffer with.
I think I've got to take on board that this is a very strong message, that I've already got backache when I stand or if I try and walk any distance. My knees hurt if I've been sat in a car. And this is the last wake-up call, really.
But the surgeon's knife is no quick-fix solution, and Lisa's diet will never be the same again.
After this operation, you will never, ever be able to eat the same way as you do at the moment. An average meal will not be more than, say, half a cupful.
Extreme weight loss surgery can also cause severe constipation, and Lisa will never be able to drink liquids with her meals again. But it's her last resort.
The sort of scary thing in a way is this is sort of her last proper food, and after the operation, she won't be able to do that again. And I know that's something that's going to be a real shocker to you, because you don't want to be in that situation, do you?
No.
So again, listen to that and take note.
Today isn't just a birthday celebration, it's also the last sizable supper Lisa will ever eat, and a chance for her to say farewell to a few of her favourite foods.
My last supper. Can I have the lamb shank, please? And what does it come with?
It's root vegetables on a bit of mash.
Okay.
Let's have a portion.
I have a portion and chips.
Yeah.
Whilst the others tuck into their tucker, the true enormity of the situation dawns on Philippa, and she takes her diet pop lunch outside.
It's now making me feel like I never want to eat again in my life.
Up until now, what Philippa has seen in the mirror is not her real body image, but meeting Lisa has finally made her aware of her true size.
I think what it's given me is an image that I can keep in my head. If I can keep an image of Lisa and how I saw Lisa today, that has given me something that I can take away and use very, very positively.
So Philippa, how was meeting Lisa?
It's made me even more positive about the way that I've chosen to tackle this, because I want to fix the reason that I overeat. I don't want a surgical fix that takes the responsibility away from me. I want the responsibility to be mine.
It's dinner time back at the feeding clinic, and after 4 days surviving on fizzy drinks, Philippa finally gets a good square meal of pasta, and she couldn't be happier.
Are you a bit more excited about
Yes,
your
I
dinner
am. This
tonight?
looks absolutely lovely, and it smells lovely as well. And I'm delighted that I'm actually having something to eat rather than drink.
Is it okay?
It's lovely, thanks. That was lovely. That was really nice, thank you. And I feel quite full. I think changing the size of my portions will be easier from now, because I've had so little to eat for this week, my stomach shrunk. I think I've totally reprogrammed the way I think and feel about food, and I actually feel that my eating habits have already changed, even though it's such a short space of time.
I think I've learnt in this week that I've got to split food down into smaller meals, much smaller meals than I have been. I maybe have 5 small meals a day. It's about small steps again, and I think that's what's going to work for me.
Gillian puts this into practice with a midnight snack.
I'm quite full now, but I'm going to eat it. And I'll eat it because I'm determined. I will make myself bigger.
And I will savour every mouthful of these. Why would you eat 1.5? You see, why would you break 1.5?
No, I wouldn't break 1.5. It's just, I was full up by the time.
You would stop at half. You see, I could never leave half a biscuit.
Philippa and Gillian are at the end of their diet swap therapy. Now it's time for Dr. Jessen to give them a 12-week healthy eating plan.
And what then are the main things that you have learnt about yourself this week?
Since I've actually confronted my emotional overlay with food, then I actually feel much more in control of it. And yet the control bit was the bit that was the problem.
You know now how to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know the difference between a physical hunger
Yes.
and an emotional
Yeah.
neediness. Yeah?
Yeah.
Gillian, what about you then? What are the things you've learnt?
I think I've learnt that I can try new things. I might not necessarily like them, but I can incorporate them into other foods that I will eat, and that I feel better physically and emotionally for eating just that little bit more calories.
Wow, is this the same person speaking from the beginning of the week? I don't believe it. Yeah, absolutely, good for you. Right, so let's give you your diet plans, Philippa. That's everything you need to know. Gillian, that's for you. Listen, best of luck. And I'm going to see you again healthier, happier, wiser, brighter, slimmer, fatter. See you guys.
Thank you very much. I really, really hope that the next 3 months are going to be a positive experience for Gillian. And I'm very, very hopeful that when I meet her again, there are some visible changes.
I definitely feel that I've gone on a journey the last 5 days to just realise just how disordered my eating habits are and how much better you can feel just by eating a little bit more.
Starting next week, a unique insight into the lives of 4 women recovering from anorexia nervosa.
Restricting my food intake and controlling my eating made me feel good about myself, and it just escalated out of control. I couldn't succeed in athletics, but I was able to succeed in cutting my food. I've damaged my body quite a lot over the years, and I think the chances of me having kids, well, I've been told, are very minimal. I try and eat when there's nobody around because I feel greedy for that.
Under the guidance of renowned eating disorder specialist Dr. Peter Rowan.
It's a hugely dangerous mental illness in its severe form.
And dietitian Ursula Philpott.
My job is to help them trust food again, really, and to help them put them on the right direction for a balanced diet.
We'll follow these girls as they receive practical help, which will encourage them to overcome their emotional issues with food and aim to give them back a normal life. It's been 6 weeks since Superskinny Gillian and Supersize Philippa left the feeding clinic. They've both been following tailor-made eating plans to help them achieve the results they so desperately need. Philippa's plan involves cutting her portion sizes in half, planning meals in advance so there's no need to grab food on the go, and stocking up on healthy snacks to avoid temptations.
I'll buy low-fat soups, and then there's things like tuna. Gone is the butter. Sugar-free jelly in here for when I get hungry.
The key to sustained weight loss is to do it steadily. Philippa still needs to eat more calories than most. Her plan is based on 2,300 calories a day in order for her to lose weight gradually. Superskinny Gillian's bulking up regime involves getting more calcium in her diet, eating 3 regular meals and 3 healthy snacks a day, and replacing fizzy drinks with more nutritional smoothies. But it isn't just about calories. During the diet swap, Gillian discovered that her hips were like that of a 60-year-old woman, so she's been exercising to strengthen her bones.
I've joined the gym since the diet swap, because Christian told me that I had to do more weight-bearing exercise because it would help the density of my bones and maybe get them back to a normal 25-year-old level instead of 60.
I'm in diet-obsessed LA, home of the super slim, to find out about the latest trends sweeping the city. We all know about size 0 women, but the newest craze is men who are obsessed with looking thinner. I'm on my way to meet Drew, a 42-year-old ex-athlete who's so desperate to be slimmer, he's prepared to undergo highly risky surgery for a washboard stomach.
Hi Drew, I'm Anna. Pleased to meet you.
Okay, so this is probably around now 6 miles an hour.
Just keep breathing. Drew,
Really
I'm
quick.
worried about you. I think you need to take that down a bit.
And I take my dumbbells.
Despite looking as fit as a fiddle, Drew still doesn't think he's slim enough for LA.
So let's see the whole thing, Drew. Just get that top up.
Lower abs. That's where Dr. Modicki is. I'm going to suck a little fat. So I've noticed that I've gained about 5 or 6 pounds in my lower abs.
Okay, I'm going to poke. Ready?
Poke all that fat underneath my belly button.
I don't know what you mean. You see, I don't quite get this because you are an ex-professional athlete.
Right.
You're in amazing shape for a man who's 42, 43.
You should teach my fiancé those words.
Why would you want to have your tummy lipoed?
I want to look as natural as can be, but a little better.
They're absolutely insane here. But in a strange way, I quite like it. They're quite good fun so far.
It's the day of Drew's cosmetic surgery with Dr. Modicki. Dr. M is using lipo to suck out the fat from around Drew's abs in a bid to give greater definition. But the risks to be slimmer are high, including nerve damage, punctures to internal organs, infections, and in more extreme cases, even death. I sincerely hope Rachel can see what she's doing through that shiner. This is freaky. I'm surrounded by surgically enhanced, slim, gorgeous nurses and a fit-looking man, none of whom needed surgery in the first place. But this is the true madness of modern dieting.
There you go.
Drew comes round from his surgery in horrendous pain. The bad news for him is pain from lipo can last up to 8 weeks post-op.
I think the men out in LA are just as vulnerable to body fascism as the women, actually. And it was a real eye-opener meeting Drew. You know, you couldn't even pinch an inch on him. And he was obsessed with getting these perfect abs. So watching him go through unnecessary surgery was insane.
1 week on, and these are the results of Drew's surgery. I'm totally gobsmacked. I can't believe someone would undergo risky surgery for weight loss barely visible to the eye. Was it worth it?
In the long run, I'd rather be fat, hairy, and happy than go under the knife again.
I return to LA in 2 weeks' time to take on one of the most radical exercise regimes in the US.
I can't actually walk, but...
12 weeks ago, Supersize Philippa and Superskinny Gillian swapped their extreme diets for 5 days in a bid to change their relationships with food. But have they succeeded? The day of reckoning has arrived. But before their weigh-ins, it's time for them to feast their eyes on each other as they come face to face again.
Come on in, guys.
Lovely to see you. I want to cry. I'm so happy for you.
I can't believe the weight you've lost. Honestly, I was scared I wouldn't notice, but I definitely do. What a difference.
You've both changed your eating habits so well, and I think it's definitely worked for you.
They've both worked hard at their diet plans, and it's time to find out if it's paid off.
You have put on 1 stone and 2 pounds. You have. That is absolutely amazing. 1 stone and 2 pounds. You're happy with that? I am delighted at that. You're now a normal, you're a healthy BMI, which means all those horrible things that I was nagging you about will be changing already.
You look absolutely beautiful, and you've got cheeks, and you look like you just look healthy, and you didn't before.
You, madam, have lost 3 stone and 2 pounds. Exactly. In 3 months. It's superb. Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm so happy.
What do you think of that? 3 stone 2?
Amazing. If you think that's just about half of what I weighed at the start, that is crazy. You've done so well.
And it hasn't been hard. I've not found it difficult at all. So I'm really happy.
You learnt so well from each other, and that was the lovely thing to see. You did listen to it. You really helped her, and vice versa. Keep it up, both of you. Stay in touch, both of you, as well.
Yeah, I will.
Because I think you're a good team, and I think you are going to help each other forevermore.
I've spent from being 14 or 15 being overweight, and never ever thought that I would feel as I feel now. And I feel so positive and so motivated that I am sure that this will carry on until I've lost the weight that I need to lose.
This has definitely been a life-changing experience. It's been so much fun. I never in a million years thought I would have put on as much weight as I have and feel so much better for it. And it's affecting like every aspect of my life, from working to playing with the kids to even social life. I feel much better.
If you've been affected by any of the issues raised in this programme, go to www.channel4.com/health. Next week, super skinny marathon runner Kim swaps her pitiful diet with Supersize fast food fanatic Trudy, and she's in for a major shock.
I think that looks like an old lady. I really do.